Hello, everybody, and welcome to Little Squid League 48. I am Mashi, and I am joined on the mic with my very, very great friend and Jesus Christ, I can't speak English today, guys. It's okay.
Hi, how you doing, Morris?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Besides the fact that I can't actually speak English today, apparently. You know, it'd be like that sometimes.
It happens. It happens. So starting Little Squid League 48. So we're in Group G, so group phase. First round will be Without Identity versus Yoshi and the Gods. Pretty interesting lineups. Do you know any of them?
Well, I was looking at the rosters like when the teams were announced for which ones we were commentating, and Yoshi and the Gods kind of like was pointed out, like highlighted in red, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, I wonder who these people could be. And yeah, so I've commentated with, I believe it's the captain. Well, it probably is. It is the captain. I've commentated with the captain, Yoshi God, and honestly, I wish everybody luck for the tournament. I don't have any biases, of course.
I
But
can't have any bias because I won't lie. I don't know any of those teams. I'll just wait and see what they can do. Commentate over their gameplay, and we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge.
I do believe Yoshi and the Gods is a full pickup team, so it'll be interesting to see how far they get as a pickup. I only know the reason. I only kind of know that it is the pickup because they have asked about one of their members before. So it'd be like that sometimes, but we are just currently waiting on both teams to get ready right now so we can actually get into game one, which is Splat Zone's Crableg capital. We are almost there in terms of readying up, as we can see. So let's go.
Crableg is a pretty classic map, especially in zones. It's very open because, like, if you have a backline on Crableg zone, like you have a good comp because it's so open. You have so much space to move around, and without a weapon that has the range or the possibility to cover a large part of the map, it can be hard sometimes to break in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have some interesting comps, I'm not gonna lie with you. Seeing the Tenebrella out with on the side of Without Identity, we do see people in mid right now, kind of just fighting it out. I do believe the Octobrush did get these people, but unfortunately does get taken down, countered by another Octobrush, going down with the trade on Yoshi God right there, but we do see that Without Identity right now is taking the lead. They did manage to get the zone cap, which means Yoshi and the Gods right now have to get themselves back into spawn safely without getting picked off.
I mean, they do be getting picked off for the moment. It's pretty hard for Yoshi and the Gods. Without Identity are holding the ground. We have a Zipcaster on by the Ultra, I think. The Booyah is off, but I mean, it's mainly a panic option, I think, to survive a bit. 40 points left for Without Identity. Is just like continuing their game plan and playing as a...
They're kind of just comfortably sitting on the edge of the jump-off points for basically everywhere right now. We do see the Wellstring unfortunately getting taken down by I believe it was the Octobrush, I could be wrong. But with that being said, Without Identity did take game one with relative ease, actually. So...
Crableg is one of those maps where it can be pretty hard, to go down on the mid if you don't have it. So without Identity, we're just capable of taking the right top to control the spawn and just make a distraction while the other teammates were coming up from the left side to take the other side of the spawn, and just Yoshi and the Gods were trapped and they couldn't go very far without getting picked. So yeah, it was just taking the zone once and keeping with a defense with that Identity side.
I do have to say from experience that it can be quite difficult getting out of Crableg's spawn, especially if like the enemy team is pushing up from relative angles that are very crucial at getting out, which is unfortunate. in terms of gameplay, especially if like a comp might be better at handling different things compared to like the comp you might be playing with against It'll be interesting to see how both teams are going to do on Clam, Blitz, Scorch, Gorge, though, which is going into game 2. Basically, Yoshi and the Gods have to win this game, otherwise they lose this set without Identity. If they do win game 2, they do take the set, since it is best of 3 right now in terms of the beginning of the tournament.
I mean, Scorch Gorge is pretty similar to Crableg, I'd say, because like it's a very open mid with like the spawn is a bit higher than the mid, so you have a pretty good view on what's happening downside. So yeah, both maps are pretty similar, but Scorch is even more open, I'd say, because you play way more on the sides.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is a lot more playing on in terms of like flank routes and actually getting up on the sides of the map, especially to get towards that clam basket. Definitely, that ramp is definitely a bloodbath. Let's say, in the nicest terms possible. It's a bloodbath sometimes.
The umbrella will be coming in handy in that map mode.
Absolutely, and we do see the repeat of the 10 umbrella on the side of Without Identity right now. I don't actually think they changed their comp. I don't think any of them did.
Oh, actually, I think there's a problem with the overlays. Without Identity are marked as yellow, and it's actually Yoshi and the Gods. I just
realized. Okay, right, okay. Okay, it's Yoshi and the Gods. Oh yeah, so Yoshi and the Gods are in yellow, Without Identity is blue right now.
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't even realize that to begin with.
And that's some pretty good kills right off the bat by Without Identity, but the rush of Yoshi and the God taking some good kills as -2, and there's already a great push coming in. Brella is here, Octobrush is here, then the defense kind of have some trouble getting in. But they do need some clams. They don't have any clams.
Yeah, they're pushing in without actually anything, really. They didn't really have the clams for the basket. We do have one right now. We do see that Yoshi and the Gods did manage to break the barrier on the side of Without Identity right now, and they're not really getting contested too much right now. We do see players right now just kind of seeing if we can pick people off that Tenebrella, getting a bit of a hard time right there. People kind of ganging up on them. With that being said, I do believe that push might be over now. I could be wrong.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was starting to think that, considering the teams kind of just push themselves back right now. Going to get clams once again to see if they can probably push. There isn't too much going on the map right now. But, oh.
I mean,
Tent does go down. Tent does go down by a bomb, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the push is over, but Yoshi and the God are still in great position. They just backed off, and I mean, it's not like they got wiped out. They backed off because it was like easier and wiser, but they're coming right back for another push with the bubble down. The power climb is in. The second power climb is into 42 points left. That's already a mountain to climb before Without Identity.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With like 3 minutes left on the 3 minutes left on the clock right now. There is a few things going on mid right here. We do see 2 members on the side of Without Identity. They were trying to find someone but didn't. They do have 2 power climbs online right now. Not too much to push up with. But with that being said, 2 power climbs is still huge if you think about it.
But I mean, sadly they got -3 and I think even wiped out. So they got 2 power clams, 1 little clam, and that's not enough. Even though it's supposed to be a good push. But like Yoshi and the God just have a greater one. Like I think almost 2 power clams and some other little in the back. Defense is trying to get the job done, but it's pretty hard, especially with a zip caster. So they really have some troubles getting off of their spawn and actually like doing some good kills, taking the paint, taking the mid, etc. And that's gonna be game for Yoshi and the Gods. It's gonna be a 2-0.
I do have to say, Yoshi and the Gods had quite a decent defense, but I'm pretty surprised that Without Identity didn't even really try contesting too much against Yoshi and the Gods. But we are experiencing a little bit of lag here, I do believe. There is just a little bit of technical difficulty.
Maybe someone left the room, I think.
With that being said, we do have both teams sitting on a comfortable 1-1 right now, which does force
Yeah, that's
game
2-0
3.
because Yoshi and the Gods did won game 1 because the colors were flipped and we casted it wrong.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh.
Yoshi and the Gods and Without Identity were
Oh
flipped.
my god, they are on 2-0.
So it's a 2-0 for Yoshi and the Gods winning actually winning the set.
Hold on a second.
Just a little mistake, but I mean that's not that important.
Yeah, it is Yoshi and the Gods. They got game 1 and game 2, yes, which means they do win the first bracket, which means they do get an advance in the group
No,
stage.
it's just groups. It's just a round robin group. So
round robin. With that being said, we are gonna just take a quick little break between matches right now, just to get everything ready for you guys and have a pretty good viewer experience. I hope.
It's PA3. It's player 3, Mars.
Oh my goodness.
It's player 3. We're going to game 3 anyway.
I'm doing great. I'm so used to the tournament set out of paddling pool. That's my fault.
But yeah, player 3, so we're going into tower control on MakoMart, which is a very different map compared to Crableg and Scorch, because this time you have a lot more streets and narrow parts in the map, so we'll see how that goes, but I think with that identity can do something on that map.
I do have to say, Tower Control MakoMart is a pretty solid map, and it has been since Splatoon 2. But it will be interesting to see how both of the teams do, especially seeing if they're going to repeat with Tensabrella going on from game 1 and 2. I don't know if the Wellstring was doing too well. I didn't really get to see them very often, so they could. It is a pretty decent map for fall off on Wellstring, I do have to say. Especially if you're contesting tower, those shots definitely are dangerous.
Yeah, Wellstring on tower is just so disrupting if you're trying to push on it.
From experience, it's quite literally hell, especially if it's in the right hands, I guess.
I mean, as a backline, you're spending a lot of time on towers, so
True,
I guess.
Yeah, you got a point, but still, even if they're on tower, if they're not on tower, it's still something that you probably want to watch out for, especially if you randomly get stuck, because you're not probably going to get out of that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Lord. I actually have no idea what to talk about right now. There isn't too much to talk about, though. I do have to say that without identity, might want to try working on countering the defense that Yoshi and the Gods do have against them, especially running double some form of shield, especially from the 10th shield and the bubble. Bubble will be a problem, I would say, against anything on tower, especially if you time it correctly. It does give you that extra line of defense, definitely.
I mean, without identity had so much trouble breaking in, so I think maybe some more aggressiveness, I'd say, and more coordination on the specials, because what I saw was without identity putting specials but not actually running into them. So they were pushing after their specials and not with them.
Yeah, not getting too much value out of specials is definitely crucial for any team trying to contest. Both comps identical from game 2, from what I can tell. And you're guys.
Okay. After all, why not?
Why not?
What was the problem?
I didn't actually see anything wrong from what I can tell. I didn't see anything wrong in terms of members at all, actually. I'm pretty sure everyone was on the same side, unless it was the wrong mode.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I saw the right tag for every members of Without Identity.
It might have been it might have been the wrong mode. That might be it. Oh, I'm looking at the comments right now. Splatfest
tea?
Splatfest teas are allowed in this tournament, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah, it is, but someone, like, maybe forgot to put it off.
I don't think I've ever been allowed to reset a match doing that.
I mean, we're back in it. We're back in it.
We're so back.
And right off the bat, like, Yoshi and the Gorge just straight up aggressing the left side, getting punished though. The Tentarbrella. That's -2, -3. Wow, wow! Calm down, man.
Straight away, right off the bat, they just get a wipe on the team. Already a checkpoint 1, breaking the checkpoint. We don't really see too much from Without Identity right now. I don't really think they are actually able to contest too much. That gal taking down the person on the right, and then also the Octobrush avenging their teammate from who died off of the tower. Booyah Bomb being popped on the side of Without Identity straight onto the tower right there. But with that being said, Without Identity is still respawning and still trying to get themselves back in here. They are fighting back just that little bit, getting the wipeout, which gives them a little bit of a moment to breathe right here, while Yoshi and the Gods are respawning right now. Octobrush being quite devious, seeing if they can find anybody. Okay.
That was a ballsy move, but I mean, it worked. It got 1 kill, but I think like the Octobrush would have preferred getting a few more. It did break down some of the defense, and now Without Identity are taking like one of the first pushes of the set.
Yeah, absolutely. Tentarbrella right now, unfortunately, did lose the interaction with the Wellspring right now. We do see Without Identity's team still trying to push into Yoshi
and the lead is on. The lead is on, and it's continuing. They like taking some really good kills. There's already -3. The Brella is getting completely demolished by the Wellspring.
Straight up, yeah. Literally just cruising themselves towards, like, literally cruising themselves towards the checkpoint right there. That was incredibly short, actually.
That was an amazing game by Without Identity. Completely flipped it the other side.
I sometimes forget how short some games can be within this tournament, especially with a situation like this. Like, Yoshi and the Gods had a really good opening push, but as we saw, Without Identity managed to take it back and was able to basically cycle themselves around the tower for long enough that they were able to chip down the checkpoint for long enough to get towards the final threshold, actually. To be honest, on that map, getting past that checkpoint at the end there is basically like an easy ride to the end, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, like, I said it before, but the fact that the Wellspring was able to completely destroy the walls of the Brella. This game, it was enabled, and he succeeded in like moving forward with the team instead of like staying in the back and getting flanked, getting pushed, etc.
Yeah.
This time, Without Identity were proactive in this game, so they were able to like kind of do the offensive plays before Yoshi and the Gods. And once they took the tower, they were pretty much impossible to get rid of.
I'm not really sure how well Tent does on this map, because I don't really see it too often in general.
It can be really hard because you have a lot of height changes, so it's easy to like just
dodge,
swim up and then swim down behind the Brella.
Oh, true. Yeah, it puts them at a disadvantage in terms of incline. But with that being said, Yoshi and the Gods did take the victory from this bracket, but Without Identity did manage to steal that final game point away from them. If you think about it, they did manage.
Yeah, final game that can be important in the final seed. So.
Oh, absolutely. Any points is enough. Well, yeah, any points is points, you know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I can actually say this now with confidence. We are going to take a small break between getting games ready right now, so don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly.